The history of temples in Luang Prabang is closely related to the spread and evolution of Buddhism in this region. Buddhism started spreading here in the 14th century with the founding of the Langsan kingdom by King Phaingam. Over time, the city became an important center of Theravada Buddhism. Temples were constructed as centers of worship and learning and became home to thousands of monks who chose monastic way of life. Many of the existing animist and other practices were integrated into Buddhist rituals and beliefs. Over the centuries, these temples have undergone periods of decline and restorations, reflecting the city's changing political and social landscape. With their intricate roof designs, hand-painted frescoes, and ornate doors and windows, Luang Prabang's 33 temples exhibit Lao, Thai, and Khmer architectural styles, and each of them has its unique history. Built around 1560, the magnificent Wat Shing Thong is the city's most impressive temple and represents the glory of classic Luang Prabang architectural style. This temple has not seen any major natural or human-caused disaster and has undergone only necessary restoration work, so very little has changed in the original building. However, there have been many additions in the temple complex over centuries. The most outstanding feature of the temple is the tiered roof, which includes multiple sloping sections flowing downwards and outwards, which is a classic Lao architectural element. The roof design and richly ornated exterior and interior give the temple a very grand appearance. The worship altar in the main hall contains a massive gilded Buddha statue surrounded by several smaller ones. The colorful and intricately carved roof is supported by sturdy teakwood pillars with exquisite stenciled patterns. The gold leaf stencil work on the black lacquered walls of the main hall depicts stories from Buddhist mythology and is considered to be one of the finest examples of traditional Lao art. The Tree of Life mosaic on the rear facade of the central hall is another iconic feature of this temple. This artwork was added around 1960 during a renovation. Every motif has a specific meaning, and as one entity, Tree of Life symbolizes enlightenment, cycles of birth, and represents the idea that all beings are connected and part of a unified whole. A smaller building, the Red Chapel, next to the main hall is known for its distinctive red color and intricate mosaic work. The Red Chapel is home to one of the most valuable Lao religious artifacts, the reclining Buddha, that dates back to 16th century and is designed in classic Laos style. Very often, the ancient temples are also custodians of religious scriptures. A small building with beautiful mosaic work serves as a library where valuable Buddhist scriptures are stored. The roof of the main building features upward pointing hook-like finials. They are said to trap the evil spirits descending from above. Chariot Hall, a glittering structure, is a recent addition. Completed in 1962, this building is home to the gilded funeral chariot of King Sisavangwong. The urns kept on the chariot are said to have contained ashes of the king and other royal family members. The interior walls are decorated with glass mosaic work and gold stenciled motifs. The hall is lined with numerous Buddha statues that have been recovered or relocated from various sacred sites. The other structures in the complex include several stupas, a pavilion with seated Buddha statue, and monks' living quarters. Wat Shing Thong used to be the site for royal ceremonies and still plays host to some national festivals and religious events. Wat Phabat stands out as a bit different structure due to its distinctive blend of Vietnamese, Thai, and Lao architectural styles. Built on a rocky cliff face overlooking Mekong River, the original temple is believed to have been founded somewhere around 14th century. It is believed that a legendary Naga king once lived at this site on a rock and guarded the surrounding area. One day a footprint of Buddha was spotted here, which was interpreted as a sign of Naga's approval to build a temple. The monks who came to Luang Prabang from Angkor to teach Buddhism then asked that a monastery be built on this site. Steep stairs going down towards the river is the way to find the cave that protects the footprint. The entry gate features Buddhist symbols of wheel of life and lotus flower. The name of the temple is etched in Lao and Vietnamese scripts.
You see, like the monk is no eye contact, here, yes, today.
Yeah.
Also, the lady, they offer like the food here. We don't need to serve directly.
The temple has undergone many renovations and additions over the centuries. A wooden structure was built in the 17th century. The later additions were done by the Vietnamese and Chinese communities living in this area. Some prayer enclosures have very distinct evidence of these two cultural influences. The main hall, however, exhibits predominantly Lao-style architecture with tiered roof, Naga finials, and gold stenciled work on the walls and pillars. The ornate prayer altar in the next building is graced with many Buddha statues in different postures. Chinese characters stand out on the pillars. An emerald Buddha, which is a Thai element, can be seen in meditative posture, and the main statue sits in earth-touching gesture. Colorful murals and paintings depict the stories from Buddhist mythology. A small enclosure in the complex is home to reclining Buddha statue. This bell is used to mark the almsgiving ceremony on full moon days and the end of the month. The location of Wat Pha offers serene views of the Mekong River. There are sitting areas for visitors to relax and soak in the tranquility. Wat Manoram is located a little outside the boundaries of the historic city centre. The founding date of this temple remains a topic of debate amongst authorities. Although Wat Manoram may not be as popular as other temples in this area, it certainly remains an important religious site. The first reason being that its main hall is home to the oldest Buddha statue in Luang Prabang. The 6 feet tall Sukhothai style statue, cast in bronze, dates back to 14th century. Part of the forearm was broken during a war. The missing part has been replaced by a cement replica covered with gold leaf. None of the original buildings of the temple could survive the assault of invaders. The present main hall was constructed around 1972, and it was then the statue was placed in the hall. The main hall is also known for its elaborate decorations. The exterior walls are covered with colorful paintings from life of Buddha. Extensive wooden carvings covered with gold leaf on the pillars, combined with stenciled patterns, give the temple a very attractive look. Some of the carved images depict deities from Hindu mythology. Another feature that makes this temple an important religious site is that it has the largest number of resident monks and a primary school. A number of buildings in a large premises carry out different functions like library, monks' living quarters, and dining hall. Another reason why it is an important religious site is that the most sacred Buddha statue of Laos, the Prabang, was enshrined here for a few years in the early 16th century. This gilded stupa is a later addition in the premises, which is said to contain ashes of a royal figure. These small stupas along the periphery contain ashes of influential people and senior monks. Wat Visunarat is known to be the oldest operating temple in Luang Prabang. The richly ornate and grand original wooden structure was completely destroyed by the Black Flag invaders. The new structure was built somewhere around 1896 with bricks and plaster. To keep in line with the original structure, some of the features like wooden beams, carved wooden ceiling, and windows with railings have been retained. The reconstructed roof is said to show signs of European influence, as 1896 was during the period of French protectorate in Laos. The main hall serves as a museum for some valuable statues and artifacts that have been recovered from various sites. Some of them date back to the 14th century, created in Khmer style. There aren't any murals or paintings on the walls in the reconstructed version. A unique feature of this temple is the unusual dome-shaped stupa constructed in Sri Lankan style, designed by King Visunarat's wife. The stupa was built as part of the original temple to store valuable religious artifacts. This is the only Singli-style stupa in Laos. Besides the other monastic buildings, there is a small craft market in the premises. The shrine on Mount Fuji can clearly be seen from this premises. Located a little away from the city center, Wat Pa Pon Phao is built in an unusual octagonal shape. The building has a bell-shaped stupa kind of roof with a golden spire. The interior walls are covered with brightly painted and vivid frescoes. Gold stenciled work can be seen on the pillars. Founded in 1950, the temple is used as a meditation retreat due to its location amidst a forest. A narrow staircase leads the way up to the top floor. Every floor has an altar with Buddha statues in different postures and colorful frescoes on the wall. Some of them depict gruesome scenes from Buddhist hell for those who have not lived a virtuous life. Wat Eham, a small temple but has an interesting history of spiritual beliefs. It was a site where spirits were worshipped. However, with the spread of Buddhism, the shrine was destroyed. After a few calamities that followed the destruction of the shrine, animist practice were restored and both beliefs coexisted for some time. Eventually, the animist practice stopped completely in the 20th century, and the two guardian spirits are said to have taken up residence in these two huge banyan trees in the premises. These spirits are believed to be the primal ancestors of all Lao people. The main hall was built in 1818. The front facade is guarded by two lions and two characters from the Lao version of Hindu epic Ramayana. The door and window frames have gilded carvings. Exterior walls do not have any frescoes, but the interior walls of the main hall has very extensive and colorful depiction of stories from Buddhist mythology. There is an ancient stupa opposite the rear facade. Not much known about it, but it makes an interesting contrast. Located right in the heart of the city, Wat Mai Suwana Phumaham, or simply Wat Mai, is known for its architecture and rich decorations. The temple was founded in the 18th century, and it is one of the ones that has managed to escape any destruction by the invaders. The most fascinating feature of the building is its red-colored 5-tiered Lao-style roof adorned with golden naga finials. The extensions constructed later on in the front and rear of the main hall give the structure a very geometric look. The interiors are just as impressive, with richly gilded murals depicting scenes from mythology. The black lacquered pillars are covered with golden stenciled motifs. The main hall is home to a gilded Buddha statue seated in meditative posture. This building is an important religious site as it served as a temple for the royal family and was home to the most venerated statue of this region, the Prabang, before it was moved to the Royal Palace Museum. The other structures in the premises include monks' living quarters, library, a drum tower, and a stupa. The temples of Luang Prabang bear witness to the city's rich cultural and spiritual heritage. Their grounds are realm of serenity, where the sacred and the artistic blend harmoniously, leaving an indelible impression on all who venture within their sacred grounds.